Hello everyone, welcome to another YouTube video. So in my previous video, we spoke about 5 reasons why the average worker was broke. In this video, we will discuss 5 simple steps that everyone could take in order to build sustainable wealth. Yes, and I'm talking about long, sustainable wealth over time. So if that is something that you are interested in, please stick with me and let's go straight into it. Right, point number one, and in my opinion, the most important point to follow if you're looking to build long, sustainable wealth is having the right mindset. Yes, it is very, very, very important to have the right mindset. What do I mean by that? That you have to believe, you have to be positive. If you want to be successful, you have to believe, first of all, that you're going to be successful or you're going to be able to become successful. If you don't have the belief or don't change your mindset from not thinking it's possible to into believing it's actually possible to be financially free, to be financially successful, then you're not going to achieve financial freedom over time. By having the right mindset, that enables you get the belief enough to then start to educate yourself. You are positive, you know it's possible, you know it's achievable. Then you start thinking, how do I achieve this? Think about it this way. If you want to be a doctor, you educate yourself to become a doctor, same as a lawyer, same as anybody else that wish to study anything or become whatever they want in life. So yes, if you do want to become wealthy, you have to learn how to be wealthy. And how do you become wealthy, or how do you learn to be wealthy? You have to be financially educated. You have to understand how money works. If you don't understand how money works, you're never going to be able to build wealth. And wealth is not just about having enough money in your bank account. It's being able to maintain and grow it and sustain it over time. That is what actual wealth means. Being sustainable. Some people don't have the desire to be rich or have too much money, but I'm sure everybody would have the desire to be financially free. That's having to be able to afford whatever you want without having to worry about where that money is going to come from or how much is going to go into your savings or your budget by achieving that one or two things that you desire. And that is what wealth or financial freedom is. Without the right financial education, I'm sure you agree with me that you're not going to be able to achieve that kind of wealth. How do you get financially educated? It's simple. These days, information is out there for everyone to reach. You can find videos on YouTube. There's a lot of podcasts. If reading books is not your thing, I would recommend reading books. There is a whole lot of books you could read to become financially educated. But if reading is not your thing, there's YouTube channels like this one. And that's my reasons for even wanting to do videos like this. Educate yourself. Seek information that would improve your knowledge on how money works, how to spend your money, what to do with your money in terms of growing it. By achieving that education, you are in your first step on becoming wealthy or gaining financial freedom. The second point I would like to discuss today as to how you can build wealth is have a plan. Once you have the right mindset, you start believing it's possible. You are positive that you can achieve it. You are now educated enough. Then you have to have a plan. What do I mean by having a plan? Start simple by having a budget, for example. Know where your spendings are. Buy what you need, not what you want. A lot of things that you might want, you actually might not really need them. Buy stuff that you can afford. The fact that you have the purchasing power to buy one or two things doesn't necessarily mean you can afford them. Buying stuff on credit, for example, is stuff that you can't afford. Ask yourself, do I really need this or do I just fancy having it? If you start going through that thought process, it gives you that ability to then distinguish clearly between this is a need, this is a want, I want this, but I need that. I need this, but I don't want that. That helps you control spending. You are buying exactly what you need. You're not overspending. You have a budget. Now that you're now in control, you're spending your money wisely, i.e. by having a budget, by having some savings, by knowing how much of your income is going to expenses, how much of it is going to say investment, or how much of it is then going into your savings. That is a plan. From there, you can start thinking of, okay, this is how much money I've got. This is what I want to do with it. That is the plan. So yes, you believe it's possible by having the right mindset. You are financially educated. Now you have a plan. From the plan, you should also remember one thing that most of us don't do, which I would recommend. The moment you get paid, you should pay yourself first. And by pay yourself first, I don't mean treat yourself first. At the end of each month, when your salary come in, pay yourself first. That doesn't mean take 100 or 200 pounds and go spend on whatever that you fancy. No, pay yourself first. Take that 100 or 200 pounds out of whatever it is that your salary is. Put it to one side. That is money that you are going to use to do something productive for yourself. Not going to buy that Gucci watch, not going to buy something that you fancied. No, putting that money aside as this is my money. This is what I deserve. This is what I'm going to use to make work for me in my own way. I have paid myself for whatever money, from whatever money that you've earned. Once you've paid yourself first, whatever that is left of it, then you are naturally forced to spend within the balance. It's a psychology thing. If you have all that money in your bank account, you will spend that without even thinking about it. But the moment you pay yourself first, whatever that is left is when then you budget according to. That would then naturally constrain your spending. You're not going out there to buy stuff that you don't necessarily need. From what you've paid yourself, then you can start to invest. You've got your expenses, you've got that pot for income. Remember the 75, 15, 10% rule that I discussed previously. And then you've got your savings account. So you have savings for when there is emergency. You've got 75% of your income that is covering whatever expenses that you have. And then you've got that amount of money that you've put aside. And that is what I mean by pay yourself first, to invest. Step number 3 that I'd like to discuss in growing or building wealth is to clear your debt. Yes, I have mentioned about savings, but if you do have debt, there's no point starting to save or beginning to invest if you have debt. Because think about it this way. Once you have a credit card debt or you have some form of loan, the bank is charging you, depending on your personal individual situation, anything between 3 to 20, some even up to 30% of interest. If you have money saved in your account, if you are lucky, you're getting 2% interest on it. If you put your money into an investment, if you're able to select the right portfolios, the average investment is growing between 7 to 10% every year. So think about it this way. On your debt, you're paying up to 20, 30% of interest. But however, on your savings, you're getting less than 2. On your investment, it's anything between 7 to 10. How are you then going to be able to build wealth if out of the 7% you're getting off your investment, you're paying 30% out of that in debt? It's not going to work. So whatever your situation is, before you even think about savings or investment, please clear your debt. Otherwise, that journey to building wealth would not be achievable in your case. Clear your debt. That is a very important point. Until you're able to do that, forget about savings. Don't even talk about investment. How do you do that? First of all, get rid of your credit card debts. Those are some of the most high interest paying debts that people have. Secondly, buy now, pay later schemes. Not good. A lot of time people don't realize it, because if you have £100 to buy a shoe, and then there's too many of these buy now, pay later schemes that will say, okay, you know what? You don't need to spend your £100. You can buy it now and then pay in 3 installments in future. That is the money that you've not earned in future. You're spending your future incomes. The money have not even come into your account, but it's already gone. It's constantly going to keep you in debt. Once you're able to cut that habit, you get rid of the debt that you owe, then you can start talking about savings and then eventually move into the field of investments. Once you're able to do these 3 steps that I've mentioned, remember the first one is having the right mindset, believing it's possible, being positive, being financially educated. Secondly, having a plan on how to build wealth. Third point, clearing every single debt that you can as quick as you can. Next point that I'll mention is to make your money work for you. And that is the actual point where you are now starting to build wealth. Once your money starts working for you, that is the beginning of building long, sustainable wealth. Because every dollar that you've earned is out there working to earn you more dollar, if that makes sense. You could still be doing your normal day job or whatever side hustle that you have, but however much income that you've had from your investment is money that you are not actively working for. That is what we call passive income. Every successful person will tell you, you don't earn money through your savings. You don't become successful through your savings, as I've previously mentioned. Get your money to work for you. If you don't know how to get your money to work for you, start researching into how the stock market works. There's different form of investments you could look at. If you don't actively want to be into investment, there's so many institutions these days that will do it for you. You don't have to be an active investor if you don't fancy understanding how the stock market and all the big terms that you might have to learn. It's simple. Just have a plan to make your money work for you. If you have the time to get the education to learn to invest or to establish a business on the side, however simple it is, that would then get your money working for you, that's fine. But find a way that works for you to make your money work for you. Once you do that, then you are truly on your way to then growing your wealth and eventually becoming financially free, as we all desire. Last but not least point is spend smartly. What I mean by spend smartly is identify what are your assets and what are your liabilities. Remember the definition of assets and liabilities that I gave before from my favorite writer, Robert Kiyosaki. Assets are simple. Anything that puts money in your pocket is an asset. Anything that takes money out of your pocket is a liability. By spending smartly, you've identified these 2 classes. If you're spending on something, ask yourself, is this bringing money to my pocket or is this taking money out of my pocket? Once you have that general framework in your head, it helps control your spending. You know what is bringing money to you, what is taking money out of you. Through that, then you're on your journey to build long, sustainable wealth. I know it seems like a bit too much, but these are just 5 simple basic steps that anyone without any form of degree, with the simplest understanding of how the world works, can learn to build wealth. Remember the points are, first of all, you've got to believe it's possible by having the right mindset, following on to be financially educated. Secondly, you're going to have a plan. Third, clear your debt. Without clearing your debt, forget about savings and investment. 4th point, get your money to work for you. And then last, spend wisely. Right, that's it for today. If you find value in this content at all, smash the like, please subscribe, help me grow this channel. My next videos, I will then start going deep into different ways on which you could invest to help you grow your money and ultimately become financially free. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you so much and have a good day.